give it a minute. Hi, everyone. Whoop. You got an early sneak peek. I'm going to go shut the music off, and Mona's going to get started, and we'll just watch for people to sign on before you get started. So, up there. You can see what she's doing. You can go on the other side so you can watch her.
I am here, so we just had to shut off that music before they shut us off. So today I'm going to be going over hope you can, well, turn it this way. Maybe we'll move this up just a little. Okay. There we go. This is the Concord and Ninth freshly picked dies. It's a little basket. It also has the dies for an apple. And if you use this die with this die, you get a pumpkin. This is interactive, so it's going to slide up and down. And this is a strawberry. This is if you used an open apple. There's loose leaves. There's side handles for your basket, or you can do the big carry handle. There's the rim pieces. This stick here is for a sign. This is a sign. Let's see. Then you get 2 dies for the strawberries. They go on top, so you can at least cut 2 at a time. You get 2 dies for the pumpkin. So again, you can cut 2 at a time. You get 2 dies for the apple, and you get 4 extra leaves. This funny looking piece here is what makes the basket interactive. So a lot of pieces there. And along with this, and I'll pull it out so we can see it. Looks like I put things in upside down. All right. So along with that, they have a coordinating stamp. So there's the coordinating stamp. Works with the heart. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a handle for that carry handle. Goes right there. Forgot to mention that. So these little things here, sayings, thanks for all you do, best teacher, hey there, pumpkin, and I adore you, a bushel and a peck. I wish they would have just put a bushel and a peck and all the rest, but I would pick you every time. There's also a pick me to let them know how it works interactively. These work with the banner, which I didn't point out. So you're so sweet, or love you bunches. And then these are, if you use that half apple, these are the little seeds you can put in. And then the 5 cents works right in this little square here for a little like stick sign if you want. So great double set, coordinating stamps with the dies. I'm saying it the reverse way we usually do. Usually we say stamps and then dies, but this time the die is the main feature and the stamps are just like add-ons. So there's the set. Wonderful set, lots of pieces. Now the cards. So here's the first one. You see the basket. There's the half apple, because they do give you the half of apple right there. And there's the full apple. Sorry, I'm covering it up on you. And there's the sign with the stick. Sign, stick, stamp. If you were making strawberries, you would use this to give them that, little black mark. Now, when I was making this, I asked my husband's opinion. He's colorblind, so I never ask him color, but I'll ask him about layouts and stuff. And I showed him the apples, and he said, well, Golden Delicious and Granny apples have brown speckles on them. So I said, okay. So I added brown speckles to my Golden Delicious and my, what do they call them, Granny Smith. Granny Smiths. All right. So now my background is Concord and Ninth cover. It's the new quilt one. And I was hoping that when I gently put my ink onto it, I would just get the stitches because I wanted the stitches to be dominant. but it didn't work out that way. So live and learn, you know. You try something, doesn't work, you just move on. So this is the first one I made, and you'll see I can move it up, pick me, and when you pull it up, it has thanks for all you do. Easiest interactive card. I thought the mechanism is just too easy. So there I used the apples, which are included. The next one was a pumpkin card. I have to cover these days because you never know who's going to spill something at my house. So here's the pumpkin. And like I said, the pumpkin is the apple, which is this shape here. And then you add this shape here right in the center. So you get the pumpkin. And of course the pumpkin has a different leaf, so you got those. The nice thing that Concord and Ninth did, which I loved, was they put these circles here. That's not a piece of fruit or part of the stem. That's where you put the glue. Because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I had a little trouble putting those stems in and stuff. But with this little circle there, it was easy peasy. I also did kind of dimensionalize my pumpkin leaves. I used one of those flower things on a mat. The background here is also a front card cover from Concord 9th. I think it's called Quilting. I think that's what that one is. And the Grateful and the banner, here's the banner. And the Grateful was from, I think, a different set. But so there's that one. And I want to see if I can find one of my pull stamps, because I thought pull would work better, but here's this one. Hey there, pumpkin. Just push it right back down. There you go. And the last one I have to show you is a little different. And I'll show you how I did it. So let me get the pieces so I'm ready for you. So this next one, I didn't do strawberries. Instead, I used the strawberry die and made candy corn. So the pumpkins are here. This pumpkin face is from Jillian Designs. Is that what she calls herself? Which is this die right here. So all I did was use the face. You could cut it. If you already cut out the pumpkin, then you would lay in the face on the pumpkin and cut it out. But I just wanted the inserts into the face, so they fell out, which was perfect. And it was easy to line up because this is kind of like the center point. So on this one, I used the little handles instead of the carry handle. I added the pumpkins just to help it up. The spider web is, I think it's last year's card cover from Tailored Expression. But so there's this one. And the way I did the candy corn is, I just pulled everything and now it's gone. Oh, here we go. The way I did the candy corn is I used this Pink Fresh, and it has multi-sizes of strips, because I couldn't do equal size strips because the center one would always be too big. So what I did was I kind of figured out which was most complementary. So I ended up using the strip number 3, that's what I called it, and strip number 6. And that seemed to work out very well. I cut out a piece of white paper. I think it was about 1.5 inches. It was over in the Halloween stuff there. Okay. And you can see I laid my strips here. So I've got a white strip, my orange strip, and my yellow strip. And then I just took the die, the strawberry die, and turned it upside down and kind of judged which was best for making it look more like candy corn without there being too much of one or not enough of the other. And that's all it took. Easy peasy. So I have a lot left over, and that's now you can see initially the first set I did wrong, so I have a wider orange, which is what made me go to this. So this works out in more ways than one. So if you have strip dies, don't be afraid to use them. Use them for multiple things. I did use strip dies on my Tim Holtz Halloween cards that showed a couple weeks ago. So use your strip dies. They come in handy. So that's how I made my candy corn. So I made all the fruit that they showed, except I changed the strawberry into candy corn. Because you know me and Halloween. I love Halloween. All right. So I'm just going to move these up here, and I will show you how to put one together. I just want to clear up the table a little, and we'll show you how to put one together. You see, when I cut a lot, so there's that apple in different colors, and I got a whole bunch of those because you had the loose leaves also. So here's the one we're going to put together. Now you don't have to distress. Your basket doesn't have to be in brown. It's all up to you. Your top of your basket, that middle part that generally holds your basket together, you don't need to do them in the same color. You could do them in your shiny paper. Whatever you feel is best is what you should use. Gotta get my glue out. So here's the stick. If I was going to use the sign, these are what's going to make your card interactive. Very cool. This is your bottom piece, and if you look, I see if I can bring it up. It says glue, glue, and it has dotted lines. That is the only place you're supposed to put glue. And then if you flip it over, you'll see glue again. And that is the only place you're supposed to put glue. Now, saying that for the back, I did something a little different, which I will show you, and I will explain why. But basically, I think I've got this one. Yeah, I didn't care about distressing all the way through because it's not going to be seen. But what happens is you're going to take your little card that's going to be your interactive thing. There's score marks, so you're going to bend it down. Bend it down. Just like that. So you got it like that. Then you're going to put it in its track. Look at that, how easy. It just went in its track. And then you're going to flip it over and you're going to open this up. And believe it or not, that's it. Couldn't be much simpler, could it? Now, what I did do, here it is I did, just so to make sure it would slide real well, is I took my powder brush and I went like this just to kind of smooth it out, make sure there was nothing sticky on it, help it slide a little. I did it on both sides. So that way it would help it to slide a little. So it slides a little easier. All right, so that piece we're going to set aside because we don't need it anymore. And the next thing we're going to do, I distressed this. I have one completely done. Let me get these out of the way. I distressed this, and I distressed this and this. So we may have to do this handle. And I used my IO ink, which I know I set out. There it is. And there's my brush. And Sharon gave me this, but I'm going to make sure that when I do my antiquing. Whoop. So I use the covers a lot because, like I said, I'm working in the kitchen. I got a 10-year-old and a 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. And sometimes things fly, sometimes things spill. So very easily, you can do it as much as you want, as little as you want, or not at all. It does not matter if you do this. Like I said, you could use the shiny paper in its place if you want. I just like it to stand out a little. There's 2 pieces to this. Here's the skinny one. Here's the fat one. If I find if I want it heavy with this, with the IO ink, then I don't pat it off. But once again, it's up to you. You know how you do it. Every ink is different. I mean, Tim Holtz is like really fast. If you're not a patient person, this is what's going to go behind the basket, and this piece also will end up getting attached to your interactive part. Now I'm not going to do the middle of this because the middle should be a little lighter in my opinion than the rest of the basket, because those are the slits that are inside. So there's that done, and then we'll do the basket itself. Now I did go heavy on the sides on this, but if you're a lighter touch, that's fine too. It's whatever makes you happy. One of the reasons I'm doing these edges, even though it's going to be covered up, is because the very edge will probably show. So if I didn't do this, then you might see a light color. So that's why I made sure I did the edges. And I do go up through the center to catch those stitchings and make them highlighted. All right. So once that's done, I think I did all my pieces that I needed. Yes. Once that's done, you can put away your ink. I will cover mine up. I had so many inks out this week. Holy moly. I'm just going to move them out of the way. All right. So this, easy enough, goes onto this. No brainer there. And I'm using my fine tip, which I always do. And you can see, I just want to make sure it's going to stick real nice.
Ready? Okay.
All right, and then I'm going to stick it together. It's easy to line up. Use your fingers as your guide. Find those little notches in those little places that'll tell you where it goes. And just do it that way. So there's that. And then we'll take the top one, put a little glue on that, glue that up. Sorry, I don't want to be off camera. There, easy enough. Lots of times on the tiny pieces I use my tweezers first just to get it where I want it. But there you are. That piece is on. And now we'll do the skinny mini. And it is the skinny mini. Right there. There. Okay, and then we'll put that on. And it's got a line-up point too, if you can see right there. It lines up. A little awkward. Like that. And then it's going to cover that whole line. And then go back over there. There we go. Push it down a little. I think that's pretty good. All right, so now we can fill our basket. So I have extra pumpkins. I think I'll do a pumpkin because I like my pumpkins. I love my pumpkins, actually. My apples are cool too, but we'll do pumpkins because it's getting fall. Although it is apple season, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I can start a little lower and put more pumpkins in, or I can start a little higher and put less. I'm going to go higher because we're on the clock here. I just put a little glue in there. And generally I start with the middle one. You don't have to. You can start end to end if you want. However you guys like to do it. Okay, so I got that one started. Grab another one. And that one's going to connect, I know, to the other one. We'll go like that. That should be good. And then we'll put that one in. And make sure it doesn't fall out of the basket. Okay. And then we'll get another one. We have 3 different colors of orange in here, I guess. So this one will be the reverse of the other one I just did. And you just want to make sure it's not going to come out of the basket over the edge. Okay, so now we got 3 in. I'm going to put 2 more in. But before I do that, I'm going to take this. I'm going to lay it behind because that's how it's going to go. And I don't have a lot here, so I probably should have stuck them. So what I can do here now is I could probably put one here and one here, and then the one will go on the tags. But we have to make sure that we're not covering those holes, which we won't. Sorry. All right, so this one's going to go like this. And this one's going to go like this. I am going to bring them down just a bit. All right, so I'll put a little glue on the bottom again. Because I'm doing a stacking motion or a stacking layout. But there is a little thought that has to go into it. So, like that. Hold it till it grabs. That's why I like this glue. It grabs pretty quickly. Okay, we got this all in. Now we're going to take this and lay it behind again, just like we did before. Okay, now I see my little notch, which is where I'm going to attach my last pumpkin. I just want to see how it's going to stack. So you can see, I'm going to glue it right there. And it'll show up right there. Okay? So I'm just using my thumb here to let me know where to put it. All right. So that's easy enough, right? Now, again, I'm going to check it. And before I assemble it, I would stamp. So I'm going to pull this out and see how much space I have. So let me move these things over a little. I'm going to leave it like that. And I'll do my Hey Pumpkin again. And I'm pretty sure I threw a block in. I'm not using my Misty. I'm being daring. All right, I'm using browning because I don't have any black ink with me. I didn't throw it in my bag, I guess. So it's got to be the first time because I'm not using the Misty. So I have to press hard. All right. Now I'm going to move that basket, and I know I got to go pretty close to there. That looks like it's lined up pretty good. Oops. Maybe not exactly centered, but yeah, you can see I messed up, but I'm sorry. So there you go. Okay. Now we've got that done. We've got our saying in. We've got everything leveled. So now we can put glue here, which I will do. Because that's where it says to put it. And this, I follow their instructions. I put the glue where they say. Line it up, put put it together. Give it a good squeeze. And I'm going to hold it from the side. And there you go. So in order to make it ready to go on the card, once again, you see these areas, they say to only put glue in that areas. However, I didn't use glue. I wanted to make sure that mine slid very nicely without friction up against the paper and this being glued and having the chance of the glue slide over and get in the way or whatever. So what I did, let me get my pieces, is I used the waffle flower 16th inch strips. They don't have to be the widest. And I knew that this was not in the way, so I put a piece there. Trimmed it. And then I put another piece, sorry, I was off camera there, another piece on this side. A little more trimming it needs, because I don't want it sticking out. Okay. Put those there. Yuck. It's attached to me. All right. And then I did add, I love these strips from Waffle Flowers. I'm almost out of my 16th inch. I did run one here. The reason I ran one here is because I know it's not going to be touched because these are not folded in, they're flat. And it'll just aid in the function of it being able to slide easily. I can trim that one. I also pulled this up all the way because I didn't want to hinder, and I added a couple more strips just to make it a little stronger. And those can even go into your fruit or whatever you stuffed your basket with. So I went like that. And another one here. And the reason I pull it up is to make sure I'm not blocking that area. Oops. So I'm going to put it flat now so you can see that it does not interfere with the mechanism. So down, up, down, up, down, up. And I could stamp on there, pick me, but I'm not going to do it right now. The other part is, oops, I thought I had a sign, but this is the stick for the sign. I knew I had cut one out, but maybe I didn't dump it properly. Well, I'm going to move these pumpkins out of the way and put this back. We're done with this, so I'm going to put it right back on its card. These ones are little, so they're easily lost. I'll put that over there. The handles, if you're using the handles, I did one set in chrome and one set in white. I do that a lot because I'll put the chrome on the white to give it stability. So I'm going to add a little glue. Sorry. And then, sorry again, put it together. And you can use your fingers as a guide. And once I'm pretty sure that I have it okay, because these are tiny pieces, I'll flip it over to see if there's one side that's longer. And if you wipe off your glue right away, it won't ruin your foiling. So there's one handle, so you can see how I do that. I also do the same for the hanging handle. So I have the chrome and the white. So again, we'll dot some glue on. I was telling Sharon that most people know I'm not crazy about flower stamps. I like flowers. I grow lots of them. I have a beautiful flower bed, but I just don't like flowers because there's so many flower stamps. But the one that she showed Wednesday night, which was from Concord and 9th also, there we go. I did like that one. So oddly enough, I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's more countryish. I don't know. It reminded me a little of a Lazy Susan, or no, Black Eyed Peas. Sorry. So let me move this back up a little. Just hit it. Let's see if we can get you back up. There we go. All right. And then I'll just glue on this handle. And again, just use your fingers to kind of guide it into place. Especially on the shiny paper, it's more slippery. So it's easier to maneuver it. So it looks pretty good. And then you can put it on this way. You can put it on this way. Or you can take these and put them like this. Oops. This. And then the other one goes back behind. And we go, oh, that's a white one. There it is. And it would go back here. And you barely see it, depends on the fruit. So you could not do that one if you didn't want to. But it would go back there in that corner. So there it is. Like I said, there's my inside. Even though they say not to go past this, I know because I did that test that I'm okay. And I add that piece down the middle so that it helps to hold everything up, so that when you attach it to whatever you're going to attach it to, you have that. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to make it interactive. You could just forget that part if you wanted and just stack your pumpkins. You can put more pumpkins on the edge. You can make your basket lilac or whatever color you want. It doesn't have to be brown. Like I said, here's my pumpkin one. And it's a nice orange basket, perfect for Halloween. So easy to do. This is the little magic insert, which is, like I said before, the easiest interactive card I've ever made. The hardest part is figuring out where you're going to put your pumpkins or your apples or whatever you're putting in the basket. Because you could put other stuff in that basket, couldn't you? You could put sewing stuff. You could make little quilt blocks and throw them in there. Whatever. Just have fun with it. And I have one more thing to show you. And this will be reminiscent of when I used to do classes. And so I'm just moving this stuff out of the way. Clean this up a little. Turnabouts. Everybody remember how I used to love to do turnabouts? Whoops. Well, that hasn't changed. And Concord and 9th, they come out with the cutest turnabout. If you haven't looked like some of their designs, I don't know how you could not like this one. I'm going to lay it against the white so you can see. This is their latest turnabout, and it's apples. Some have designs. Some are open. There's the seeds, which will go in some of them. Just little dots to fill the area. The leaves. So I did my usual. I did 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is, and these are all done with IO inks, by the way, my mini pads, because they're right in front of me, generally speaking, all the time. So here's the first layer, or the first before I turned. So this would be number 1. This is number 2, which would be turned this way when I stamped it. This is number 3, which would end up this way when I stamp it. And this is number 4 when it's complete. Now, it's hard to tell on camera. Even close up, it's hard to tell. But I do have 2 different, maybe right here you can tell the best. There's like a cherry red, and then there's like a darker red. I can't remember the name. But there are 2 different reds in there. So this is pretty bright. And the card I started to make with that, because I made a whole, you can see I made a whole bunch of extras. I mean, once you're going, you might as well finish, right? And that has a companion die, the turnabout, and the companion die is here. This is the companion die. So you have a nice textured leaf. You have a stem. You have your not your pumpkin seeds, your apple seeds. This would be if you were doing that half apple thing. These 2 apples here will die cut, and I'll show you the apple here. So you could use one of these or all of these as cut aparts and just lay apples all over the place, or you could pick, and they do have a left and right apple, but you could pick a plaid apple, you know, you could pick the polka dot apple. I love the polka dot apple. Whatever you want. But so they leave you that. And there, like I said, there's 2 of them. It looks like there is a left and a right. Right there. The stems are going different way. And then this is for the leaves. So you can even cut out leaves if you want. So you can cut out a leaf or multiple leaves. You can even cut out those little thingies there. Isn't it cute? And see how it picks up the seeds and everything? I just thought this one's kind of more versatile than some of them because it can go fall, it can go, you know, for teachers, whatever. It just seems to be more versatile than a lot of them. Some of them are just very seasonal or very specific. So the card that I started is this one, and the saying is in another one. Where is it? Oh, it's in with the turnabout, I think. Yes, let me find that proper envelope. But there's 2 big sayings, and then I use the leaves. I'll probably trim this down a little, and I think I'm going to pop this because I think it'll look better popped. But for now, it's flat. And like I said, it did. Let me put these out of the way for you guys. Oh, here it is. So this is the full set. So thanks a bunch. You're the nicest. Sure do appreciate you. I think you're great. Thanks for all you do. So very versatile set of turnabouts with coordinating dies. We have them in the store along with the basket. Tomorrow I may have the Lawn Fawn basket done so I can show you a comparison of the Lawn Fawn next to the Concord and 9th because their basket's very cute too. So if there's no questions, and I'm kind of watching, but if there's no questions, I'll say goodbye for today, and you'll see Sharon and I tomorrow. Thanks so much. Have a good day. Bye.